Why are you here? Don't you understand? That Gundam is out there. It can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with. It doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear, and it absolutely will not stop, ever, until you are dead. What is going on, guys? MJ2005 Gundam here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the high-grade Gundam EX from Gundam Requiem for Vengeance. A prototype mobile suit developed by the Federation for ground combat, it was mainly launched for recon and infiltrating Zeon forces, backed up by its boosted mobility and impenetrable armor. This Terminator, I mean Gundam, is made up of 10 runners, a sticker sheet, and a decal sheet, and despite its real great levels of detail and possessing a structure like no other high-grade kit, the construction is actually pretty simple to understand, not to mention that the color scheme is relatively monotone, while the gate's usage is tailored for easy cleanup, deliberate or not, and the number of small parts is quite finite. Judging by those aspects alone, I can confidently say that it's a refreshing build that even beginners should be able to handle, but that's only half the picture. You see, I've made two mistakes during the initial build that prompted me to get a duplicate for replacement parts, having sanded away the weave in detail instead of the nub for one, and sanding way too much into some awkward gates on the wrist socket parts. While the latter is partially on the kit, I'll fully put my hands up and admit that I was at fault for building the kit while half alert. Luckily, the second time around was much better. Tangent aside, the high-grade Gundam EX is just a hyper-detailed high-grade that is relatively simple to build, given that you're not half asleep while doing so. With those personal skill issues aside, the final product of the high-grade Gundam EX looks phenomenal. No matter what you think of the design, the sculpt and colors are faithful to the animation model, while the details have been replicated meticulously on the kit despite having been simplified for the high-grade. Moreover, the heavy use of separated armor panels complements the surface detail in giving the kit a mechanical feeling, making it look more complex than it actually is. That being said, the kit isn't immune to needing stickers and paint. Granted, the former only constitute the eyes, forehead sensor, and the maroon details on the crotch and side skirts, while the latter is limited to the grey for the cheeks, palms and finger joints, small crotch detail, exposed mechanisms behind the legs, inside the thrusters and Gatling ammo drum, the light white on the rear ankle panel, and the darker whites for the wrist area, front and back skirts, Gatling gun, and saber emitters. But I'm sorry, even though there are 3 eye options for the different reconnaissance modes, if you could tell the difference between them while the kit is on display, it may go without saying that you probably have telescopes for eyes. On a more serious note, because the Gundam EX is quite monotone, it all the more asks for panel lining to enhance the rest of its detail, and perhaps decal application to give it some subtle maroon accents if you prefer. And while I think it's fine to leave it in pristine condition due to how invincible it was in the show, some dirtying effects like dry brushing soot would give it a more gritty look without going overboard. In any case, this horror slasher is plenty displayable out of the box. Articulation wise, the head is on a hinged ball jointed neck that moves finely enough, but the ammo drum will be a minor hindrance. The shoulders are on a G-Witch style ball jointed socket, while the shoulders themselves are ball jointed. This is mostly to compensate for the somewhat restricted arm raise. The shoulders also have a moving flap. There's a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, and hinged, pec jointed wrists. The ab crunches are acceptable, but the waist rotation is restricted by the arched detail around the back. All of the skirt flaps can move, and the legs can individually swing down to demolish the full front splits, and do this. You don't need to be a freak to pull off great sideward kicks or even the full splits, okay? There's a thigh swivel, double jointed knees, movable ankle armor pieces, and a ball jointed foot with flip-flop action. Finally, the thrusters can move, the beam saber rack can move up, while the sabers can tilt independently, and the Gatling can fold down and pivot side to side, with the flexible ammo belt and free moving panel adjusting accordingly. Articulation of the Gundam EX is fairly good, possessing a decent range of motion while remaining solid yet smooth to pose, except for that saber rack which falls off more often than not, although the head, waist, and arm raise would leave something to be desired, as they're quite restricted because of their design. For accessories, besides the action-based adapter that goes into the back of the Gundam, and the pair of holding hands, you also get a red trigger finger hand. This is so that besides the shoulder Gatling gun that flips down for use, it has the beam rifle at its disposal. Possessing terrifying power and a somewhat cheap yellow sticker for the scope, it sandwiches into the trigger finger hand for use, or plugs into the back skirt for storage. The other shoulder armament is the beam sabers, which simply pluck out from storage and slide into the hands for use with the SP-12 beams. But seriously, where's the beginning Gundam when you need it? Lastly, there's the shield with missing grey and white details while utilizing stickers for the Federation logo, which doesn't look the best. However, the rest of it is well part separated, and despite it being only held in the hand for use, the grip is more than solid enough, no matter the orientation, and it can also be adjusted on a ball joint. As a bonus, there's an extra neck, beam saber, and a peg for the mount in case you need them for backups. Now don't get me wrong, to this day I still think the Gundam EX design looks like a half-melted EZ8 with a face that is a mix of Leatherface and Jason. It's just the story and sound work that attracted me to it. But, as a high-grade kit, it is a fantastic entry to the lineup, but with a few flaws that are a bit hard to miss. The high-grade Gundam EX takes me back to the high-grade Moon Gundam and how it attempted to break the mold. And from the building and aesthetic perspectives, this kit does exemplarily offer up a unique experience compared to the typical high-grade without much compromise, especially when it being deceivingly mechanical. Although, the flaws fall on the functionality. The articulation can't really be held as such, but it will take some time getting used to, assisted with the kit's solidity. And while the weapons all do what they're supposed to do, there are nitpicks like the saber axe solidity and the stickers on the rifle and shield that slightly change the overall quality. However, I will readily attest that in general, the high-grade Gundam EX is a great model kit, whether you like or hate the design, or choose to leave it stock or make it look terribly worn out. It's not a kit to die for per se, but if design taste is the sole barrier to your curiosity, the rest of the kit's aspects will soundly carry it through. And that's all for me. Thank you for watching, drop a like and comment if you did enjoy the video, subscribe for more content like this, and a special thank you to the channel members, credits in the description below. That said, take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out guys, bye bye.